All right, Sarah, we're on.
Awesome. Hey, y'all. If you are watching this, you may be considering the emergent leadership training, whatever. Um, gotta fuck the video up in the first 30 seconds or it's no good. Um, Levin and I are teaching this, and just to prove to you that we know some of what we're talking about, and also because riffing is fun, we're going to do a quick video on status, power, and belonging in groups. This is one of the things I've been thinking about recently as like the biggest impact on groups. And so we wanted to talk a little bit about it.
And I want to talk about it. I don't even know where Sarah's going with this, but I trust her, and I'm ready for it.
Sweet. I'm not totally sure I know where I'm going either. But Levin, you mentioned something at the start of this call that teed it up for me, which was about being at the first ELT and not realizing that the group didn't know you and didn't yet trust you. Unlike the folks that you train in Boulder that know you're a complete and total wizard, they didn't know that yet. And so you got some pushback from the group.
Yeah, I took liberties. I assumed a level of trust and rapport that I hadn't yet earned. And in retrospect, it seems like a really obvious thing not to do. And I did it. It was the first time I'd led training outside of Boulder. And it didn't land for me that I needed to sort of start off at a blank slate, which is where I actually was with most of the people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the reason that caught my attention is I know a lot of the questions that I get asked at the introductory leadership training, the authentic leadership training, revolve around how do I do this work with different types of groups. And one thing that I think doesn't get talked about as much is there are all sorts of exercises and games that you can adapt to the group that you're working on, but whether or not the group trusts you has a huge impact on whether you're actually going to be able to work with them. Like, do you have buy-in from the influencers in the group, and not just like the manager of the company, but the person that people look to when they have a conflict or when they have an issue? Like, could be even the like office assistant. Like, does that person trust you? Have you talked with various people in the organization first to see if you've actually got the ideas right, and can you talk to the things that actually matter to them? Are you an insider to their world or an outsider? Do you take the time at the beginning to actually win their trust by like telling them a personal story about you or about your, interest in this stuff or your experience?
Yeah. I'm going to jump in and say, for me, there's three things that come up when you talk about trust with a new group. I think there's trusting that the person, in this case, say me, is competent. Do I trust your competency? Like you have valuable knowledge and experience to impart. But probably more important than that is, do I trust that you care about me? That's often the first part of trust, the basic thing that, do you care about me and this group?
Yeah.
And then the third one is like, sort of like, can I trust you to be real with me? And that's where the vulnerability comes in. So I look at competence, care, and vulnerability. Can I trust those three things in a leader?
Right. And that last one, vulnerability, is complicated. And that's something we'll definitely talk about in the ELT, which is, what is like, how do you show vulnerability as a leader? And what are the different types of vulnerability? And where is and isn't it safe or useful to show different types? Like just exposing your soul, like, hey guys, I'm super nervous coming up here to talk in front of you. I've never like talked with a group like this before. And these are all new exercises. And I just want you to let you know that like, this is really an edge for me. Are you ready to start? Like that's one type of vulnerability. And then, there's ways of showing vulnerability in leadership that communicate to the group that you do belong and that you do care about them. And then the other thing on that of like, that I want to speak to is like, there's a distinct effect on me and my ability to function when I feel not trusted by a group. Like some part of me actually shuts off, and some part of people in a group shuts off when they don't feel safe or like they belong. And so like, I just want to really like honor how hard it is to go into a group where you don't know if you have trust and try to lead. Like it goes against every primal instinct of being part of a tribe.
Totally. And you mentioned a new piece too. Do I trust that I'm safe? And that one is closely linked with, do I trust that the leader cares about me?
Mm-hmm.
But there's an overlap there, but it is, I think, a distinct kind of trust too. Do I trust that it's safe to reveal myself and I'm not going to get judged basically for it? I'm not going to get ridiculed or criticized. I'm not going to get kicked out. I'm not going to lose my sense of belonging. How spacious, how inclusive is the culture that this leader is generating with us and for us? This is a really cool exploration, all the levels of trust that can get somebody in an optimal state to learn and participate.
And lead.
That's what I want. I want people to feel good and to have a good time, but I also want to help people get into the optimal state where they can learn and grow and stretch. And most people that I've learned about don't function and learn optimally when they're under a lot of stress.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Usually the more present and relaxed that a person can be, the more able they are to learn new things.
Right.
And safety and trust are at the foundation of that.
Yeah. That and just to touch on this, and we won't be able to get super deep, but the idea of status and power, like how much do you believe that you have status in a group or can gain it? How much are you able to actually just like hold status within yourself? Almost like I feel okay within my own skin. I have high status with myself such that I go into situations feeling like I can gain people's trust. And when I'm in a situation, I'm able to match status or take status or lower status as is important. Like something I'm dealing with right now is I'm with my family for Thanksgiving and I'm trying to take status. Like I'm trying to introduce sentence stems and games and deepen conversations. And I'm getting a lot of pushback from my family. And something I realized today is like, I'm breaking the dominant power structure by being the grandchild, the third generation, and trying to take status. And that I really need to think about what's the impact of that on my family. Is that something I want to break? What status is best for me to take in this situation and why? And have I really considered the purpose? There's like a why behind everything. We call it going meta. And we do that a lot in the ELT. Really consider what's the rationale, what's the purpose, what's the intention? Am I being the person I want to be here for the reasons that I care about?
Nice.
And I should go actually because we're about to have dinner and I'm holding the family up.
And you don't have quite enough status to redictate what time dinner is.
Nope. That's my grandma's job. It's a matriarchy.
Well, I think this is probably a good amount of time anyway, and enjoyed riffing with you on this. And for those of you watching, this is one of many topics and territories of skillful, engaged, fun, optimal leadership that we explore and learn about all together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hope to have you join us.
Yeah, I hope you join us if this is the right thing for you. And lovely as always to talk with you, Sarah.
Same.
All right. Bye for now.
Bye.